right, let's get into the Cavs, though, guys. Disappointing.
Let's go.
Just disappointing.
We've been
All right,
waiting.
Brad, go ahead.
No. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna come in to
Okay.
Jason,
you want to start
covers
us off?
this stuff.
You look angry. I'm angry.
I'm disappointed. I'm not shocked that they fell flat Friday, that they were a little bit overwhelmed. I kind of expected that. The Garden, Brad knows what that environment is like. A road team coming in, a young team coming in, playing in a postseason setting for the first time. But to come back Sunday with the effort that they gave Sunday, Donovan was awful all weekend. That, I think, is the most alarming of everything. I think we all thought – I mean, I came on and said I thought Donovan was going to have a 40 ball at some point, like he was really going to carry them, and you better win that game. Didn't happen. Darius looked – the moment was too big for him. He had a stretch there at the start of the third quarter where he really got it rolling, and I thought their pick and roll game really started cooking, and then it fell apart as quickly as it came. It went. I mean, now they're in a 3-1 hole. I have no faith they're going to win this series. I think, they probably win at home Wednesday
and lose 6.
and get it back to New York and lose in 6. But it's a lot of weaknesses and a lot of holes. Some we knew about, some we didn't, have been exposed in this series.
What do you see? I mean, what weaknesses? What holes?
Well, number one, they don't have enough shooting. I said that last week. Shooting. They don't have enough shooting. They have no bench. They have no depth whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get into the JB conversation, and I know a lot of people are angry at JB, and I haven't loved everything that he's done, but I'll just ask, well, who do you want him to play? Because they got like 7 guys right now that you can play. So I don't know what he's supposed to spin, what magic he's supposed to spin out of 7 rotational players in a playoff series.
And nobody's playing well.
And
there's not a single guy I could say is having a good series for the Cavs. Not a single guy.
Yeah, I mean, guys have had good games.
Yeah.
But
Donovan Mitchell's played 1.5 good games. I'm sorry. Donovan's played 2 good games. Game 1 he was great. Game 2 he was good. He didn't score a ton, but he was playing a good game. He's been awful. He was awful in New York. That was embarrassing. Darius Garland was great in Game 2 and was good in the second half. But they played, once the game was close, it seemed like they get so tight in these big spots. Nobody's making a shot. Donovan Mitchell, I mean, the Cavs must be shattering records for most bunnies missed in an NBA playoff series. They have missed so many easy shots in this series. It's been crazy. Jarrett Allen, is he even playing? I mean, what is he doing? In the 2 games in New York, what did he have, 8 rebounds in the 2 games?
Mitchell Robinson's
They're
having his way with him.
Killed. Isaiah Hartenstein, didn't the Cavs cut him or something?
Let him leave as a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's killing him.
He's a big body. But
Jarrett's a big body too.
Yeah,
What's
but
he doing
I
out
wrote
there?
toward the end of the season, it became really alarming. We know JB loves to play bigs. He was playing 3 really big guys last year. He loves bigs. He didn't have any bigs to play outside of Mobley and Allen.
Right.
Dean Wade has been, and listen, I'm not putting this all on Dean Wade. This goes on Donovan and Darius and Jarrett. But Dean has been such a disappointment for this team because they let Kevin go under the belief that Dean was a big who could shoot, who could rebound, who could really help them. And they can't even get him on the floor right now. It's just so they've just been let down one after another after another. And I'll tell you right now, there is no easy fix to this because they went. And for people who say, well, why didn't they make any moves at the deadline? Why didn't they make any moves at the deadline? They didn't have anything to trade.
Right, because we saw Malik Monk has played great for Sacramento.
Right.
We saw, what's his name? For the Knicks. I just forgot his name.
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart has been great.
But they
have nothing to trade.
Kevin Love was untradeable.
Yeah.
People screaming, why didn't you get something for Kevin? Because he's making $30 million. There was no value.
Yeah.
There's value to him as a buyout, when you have to pay him the minimum. But in terms of the contract, there was no value. There's no value for Karis LeVert. He's last year on his deal. There's no tangible trade value there.
Can't trade any first-round picks.
They literally have no first-round picks to trade.
Yeah.
They took every asset that they had and handed it to Utah for Donovan. Now, you can argue whether or not you like that or not. I'm just telling you, they've got nothing left to trade. And the same's going to apply this summer. They don't have any great movable pieces. So, they've got mid-level exception. They've got some money in free agency. But there's not a great easy fix to the bench and the shooting woes that plague this team right now.
Brad?
Okay, so let me come in from the player perspective because Jason, I believe, is correct on a bunch of fronts. One, was I surprised this weekend? Absolutely. I thought that we would get at least one good performance out of Donovan Mitchell this weekend. But I would just say that if I think back to my playing days, think about this team, Jason. This is really their first playoff experience. So I had to put myself, I had to step back away from my commentary side and say, let me think about when I was a player and my first experience. My first experience was playing my rookie year in the Boston Garden, playing the Celtics. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Ainge,
Tough
DJ
place to
Dagger,
play.
tough, right? And it was not a stellar playoff performance for me. It was best out of 5. 3 games, we got swept in 3, right? And I remember the last game we had a chance to go, and then I'm in at the end of the game, and Jordan, I think, is going to take the last second shot to take the lead. And then if at the last second, I think I'm getting under the basket for positioning, he fires me the ball for the shot. And I'm like, I wasn't even expecting the ball. My 1 foot is standing out of bounds. But you have to learn from that. So when I look at Evan Mobley, he is in that space. He's lost right now, right? He's lost right now. And that's to be expected because you can only get better when you scrape your knee a couple times. Donovan Mitchell, I believe he got consumed with the thing about going back to New York, playing in the Garden in front of all those people. Because that hadn't been the Donovan Mitchell we had seen all year, right?
Yeah.
So my thing I said yesterday on the air was this. You can come, because my friends from New York called me, I live in Cleveland, they said, Cleveland lost to the bum Knicks. They lost to the bum Knicks. He said, look around. I said, let me tell you what's going on. Look at Julius Randle. Julius Randle sitting on the side. Did you see his face? He's going to cause turmoil tomorrow, right? He wasn't happy sitting over there. He said, the Knicks will let you back in. The Knicks did that in the third quarter. Let them right back in again. We refused to take it because Darius, who had been playing bad, he really had set the table for Donovan's close.
Yep.
He brought it back, sets you up for a fourth quarter close. Here you go. Go earn your money. And Donovan wasn't Donovan.
Nope.
So, but I will tell you, I tell you this: the holes that Jason just talked about, I saw them coming a long time ago, right? Your 3-man slide, even though Okoro played much better yesterday, he's a guy that comes off the bench. He's an energy guy. Just tell me, Jason, how well do you think the Cavaliers would have looked with Carmelo Anthony out there yesterday in the Garden at the 3?
Well, I don't know what kind of shape Anthony's in.
Don't give me that.
But no, you have to because that's the realistic
part.
He's
let's,
not in shape.
Let's assume you don't know what Anthony is in shape or not. Have you seen him?
I've talked to people who said he's not in basketball shape.
I'm asking, have you seen him?
No, and I'm not an NBA scout, but the people I talk to say he's not in shape.
We're talking in theory here, right? Carmelo Anthony.
He can shoot it.
Carmelo Anthony, just not shoot it. Carmelo Anthony in the Garden, right?
There wouldn't have been any nerves.
There wouldn't have been any nerves in the Garden, right?
Yeah.
And look, you looked about here because you talked about not having any capital to make moves, right? Now you have to scour the sideline, see who's sitting out there. The Lakers brought in Tristan Thompson here, right? Now Jarrett Allen and them are getting housed under that basket, pushed under the goal. You need somebody to counteract that. Now Kevin could have been the guy, but Kevin didn't want to be here anymore.
Well, but in fairness, he didn't want to be here because they stopped playing him. I think if they had Kevin wanted
to play. Kevin did not want to leave, but he wanted to play. He's trying to get a contract.
That's on JB or the team.
He's trying to get a contract.
So you sit here and say you're going to move Kevin, right?
Yeah.
Irrespective of what the circumstances are.
Right.
You have a void because you had to know that Dean wasn't doing anything.
Right. That was it. Even though Kevin Love is not the same player, obviously.
So if you're going to make a move,
but that was a mistake.
If you're going to make a move, you have to have something in your pocket. We have no money. So Jason knows the deal. You have no money, you got to go to the scrap heap and find a body. Not that Tristan Thompson will get in with the Lakers ever. But,
no, he hadn't played 1 minute.
Right. Yeah. But I tell you what, the one thing he would have done for you yesterday, he wouldn't have afraid to go in there and mix it up with Mitchell Robinson.
That's true.
He would not have. So
but here's the thing, Brad, too. Like, Jarrett Allen's played in the playoffs before. He's not a newbie to the playoffs. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell has played in a lot of playoff games, and he was horrendous the whole weekend. Yes, they're lacking experience, especially, Garland, certainly Mobley, and I'm not looking, like, long-term on him like this is an indictment of him, but to some degree it is on Donovan Mitchell. It's not like the Knicks have a ton of playoff
No, because Donovan Mitchell was the closer. He did not play like a closer.
No.
I expect on Wednesday Donovan Mitchell to be himself, right? You have to just think about this. Can you imagine what it was like for Donovan Mitchell to go back into the Garden under all that pressure, right?
I'll give you that for Game 3, but I don't buy that for Game 4.
Well, let me tell you something, Jason. Game 4, Donovan Mitchell was not hunting shots. He was not hunting anything, right? So that tells me you're not hunting. You're the hunter.
Right.
You're not looking for shots. You're not there. They kept looking for him to be there, and he was not there. And he missed some shots, decent shots, with the mentality. So, I heard somebody we were on air yesterday after the game. They talking about, Donovan was getting double teamed. I don't care.
Come on.
I said, when you're in the playoffs, you're going to get doubled. You have to, the lead dog has to go against the doubles. He knows it's coming.
Yeah.
What we have to do now is simply this, right? Because I think the people in Cleveland, the fans across the country, this is what they were mad at. The performance. You laid an egg. Mm-hmm. You had all of us looking bad.
They played scared.
Right.
They looked scared.
That's what they were mad at.
Where is Earl? Earl owes an apology for his terrible take on Donovan Mitchell a few weeks ago.
He's on a 30-second delay, so he'll hear that in a second.
I mean, Earl, Donovan, I don't care about his 70-point game. I don't care about anything he did in the playoffs. He was absolute trash in New York. He should be embarrassed. And he really should be. And I don't care if he plays well in Game 5 because the series is over.
No, it's not over.
You think they can win 3 in a row?
This is the Knicks we're playing. Come on.
But this is the Cavs.
No. Well, this is the Knicks.
I know the Knicks are not that good.
This is not Boston. This is not the Lakers.
I hear you.
What I say is this.
All right.
Do I say it's a long shot? Absolutely a long shot.
Of course.
First step is, can you get back to New York? Now, if I'm Donovan Mitchell, my sole purpose is, I'm from New York. I'm not leaving New York looking like that. I have to get back to redeem myself. Even if I go down in the Garden, I ain't going down like the last time I was there. So it's going to tell you a lot about Donovan Mitchell on Wednesday. Because if he doesn't lead, because he has to lead the charge here.
Yeah.
I put it on both of them. I put it on Donovan and Darius. It became evident in October. The Cavs will go where they take them. And right now, they're taking them home.
Right.
They're taking them into the gutter. But this is just, Darius is a $190 million contract. This is just as much on Darius as it is on Donovan.
That's fair.
It's a guard-driven team.
Yeah, I get that.
And I tweeted before the second half, save all the analysis, save the fact Jarrett's played like crap. He's getting pushed by Mitchell Robinson. They aren't rebounding. All of that is true.
Right.
I agree with all of it.
Okay.
The fact is, it's Darius and Donovan that have to bring them
They're
back.
the
in the
all-stars.
Well,
series.
Darius came back yesterday in the third because he had
And
been
he
comatose.
did. And
he was
did.
comatose.
Yeah.
Darius
And then he
was
came out
great.
third quarter,
Yep.
and what he did was he did what the second lead dog is supposed to do: keep you in a position for a close. Now tell me he did not set it for a close.
Absolutely.
If he would have got just a piece of a performance from Mitchell, a piece.
Yeah.
They
Right?
win that game.
Right.
They
They
can win
walk
that
out
game.
of the Garden. But he got, and it's not the fact that he wasn't making shots. He wasn't hunting shots. He wasn't looking to be the guy. Because, sometimes you have to be the guy that say, if we go down, you're going to go down with me firing.
Right.
That's how we going down.
Yeah, no.
Right? He wasn't even that.
No.
So Kara starts shooting. Jetty starts shooting some
Yeah.
ball. And here, we can't even play Rubio.
No.
No.
And that drives me nuts. Like,
can't.
I'm not going to put too much of the blame on JB because I just don't think he has the personnel. But the fact he keeps going back to Rubio,
We can't.
I don't think. Isaac's made a couple shots. He slashed the basket a couple times. I think he's unplayable. Jetty Osman is like a ninth man in a rotation. Isaac Okoro is like a ninth man, eighth, ninth man in a rotation. And you're asking these guys to carry fifth man, sixth man type loads.
Right.
It's
And
just unreasonable.
It's the fact that the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 players are not playing like a number 1, 2, 3,
Well,
and 4
here,
players.
Jetty Osman and Okoro gave you 19 off the bench yesterday. The Knicks, I believe, only had 6 or 7 points off the bench. So at least they did their part.
They did.
Right. We couldn't stop Josh Hart. We couldn't stop Brunson. We couldn't R.J. Barrett. Do you know how bad they are on R.J. Barrett up in New York? R.J. Barrett, they're like,
He had a monster game.
they're like R.J. Barrett?
Barrett is the stereotypical role player who plays better at home than he does on the road. Barrett played like crap the 2 games in Cleveland.
He did.
And he played better
played
in
great
New
in New
York.
York. Go ahead, Mikey. What do you got?
One advantage we thought as Cavaliers fans in a Cavalier city and show here thought we had going into this series was at least in the front court. When you looked at Mobley and Allen heading up against Mitchell Robinson, and we'll even take Randall out, Robinson and Hartenstein, the 2 7-footers on each side. We thought that advantage was heavily in Cleveland's factor. And yesterday in particular, and Game 3 as well, was an abomination, heavily favoring New York. On the post-game show, G came out and essentially said Jarrett Allen's unplayable. Unplayable. He's like, I wouldn't even start him in Game 5. I would go small.
That's a
He said I would go small,
overreaction,
put
but-
Mobley at the 5, put an extra guard in. I'm just curious how you guys
What extra
look at
guard?
that matchup.
I mean, what are they going to do? They got no.
He said
Jason's
Rubio.
right. They just don't have it.
He
in
said
talent.
Rubio. That's what G said
The
on the
sta-
post-game show yesterday.
Mikey, the
Your
style
thoughts on it?
the style they play is counteractive to how the style the Knicks play is counteractive and counterproductive to how the strong suits of the Cavaliers. Mobley and Jarrett are good defenders when they have space. The Knicks have limited the space inside. They're banging bodies. They're pushing him off the block. They're not strong. I mean, they're not Herculean dudes. They're not. So all they're doing is getting smashed by Hartenstein. They're getting smashed by Randall and getting smashed by Mitchell. That's the only difference.
Those guys get every big rebound. Like every big spot, those guys
When
grab
you
the
meet
rebound.
those type of guys, it's mano down there.
Right.
You're not getting this glass. You're not. And it's not about technique. It's about the physicality of you're not going to get this ball.
And nobody is afraid to take the ball in the paint against Allen or Mobley.
Hey,
They're
to
not
what
worried
Brad
at
just
all.
said, I have 2 still shots from yesterday. I had to
Josh
show you
Allen,
guys.
Josh Hart is one of them.
2 still shots. No, Steve, take 163 full. Who do you think got this rebound?
All right, look at that.
Oh, Mitchell Robinson got it.
Mitchell Robinson got this easily. Steve, go to the next one. 164. Who do you think got this rebound?
Mitchell Robinson.
God,
Mitchell Robinson got this rebound easily. Go back to the top.
that's
up 1.
embarrassing.
4 Cavaliers in the paint around 1 Mitchell Robinson. 2 7-footers have both feet in the paint.
Stop right there so people know what they're looking at. So the shot is going up on the glass. You see the ball around the rim.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen is already inside the hash circle, right? That's before Mr. Robinson even got a good body on him. So by the time he hits him, as light as Jarrett is, Jarrett's going to be under that basket. That ball probably going to come out just out in front of the basket, and you got Karis LeVert right there. He's going to get it.
But what's Mobley doing? I mean, he's just standing there all alone.
But he's on the other side of it. That comes back this way.
Right.
Robinson's going to snatch that ball.
Yeah.
So you have to meet Robinson. Jarrett Allen has to be outside that hash. And sometimes, Jason, you know the deal. It's just a strength game down here.
Yeah.
It's who low man wins. That's what it is.
And Brad, will you break down the next one too for everyone? Steve, you go to 164 and put that in the box with Brad. Break down this shot's from the corner, Josh Hart. How in the world does Robinson end up with this rebound?
So you've got, that looks like Danny Green down there. Is that Danny Green? Right.
Yeah, it is.
So Danny Green, too light to handle Mitchell Robinson. And then look at Evan. Evan's standing straight up like a stick, right? So all he got to do is tap him, and he's going to go backwards, right? There's nobody, at least Danny Green is trying to get low and get leverage.
Is that Jarrett closing out to the shooter?
Yeah.
It is Jarrett closing out to the shooter, correct?
Yeah, because I remember that they swung that to Hart. He busted out the side. But see, somebody's got to put a body on Mitchell Robinson. Now, Danny Green is trying to put a body on. Evan's got to say, no, you're not getting this ball. So you have to get down there and fight them. Right. And if you don't fight them, guess what? They get hungrier.
Isn't that what rebounding is all about? The 1-2?
Well, so it's technique and snatching, but the playoffs is different.
Yeah.
The things that the Cavaliers do well are counteracted by what the Knicks do. The Knicks front line gonna play hard and hit you hard. That's all they're gonna do, right? They're not real big skilled guys, right?
They're physical.
But if you allow them to do that, Mitchell Robinson looks like he does.
Yeah.
Hart just ain't looking like a champ out here. I like this dude.
He's a big body.
I like this dude.
To your point, 2016, teams were sending 2 and 3 guys to Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
To try and keep him off the glass. He was so dominant.
He was
in
awesome.
rebounding, defensively, switching on to guys. He was such a nuisance to teams rebounding that I can show you footage of teams sending 2 and 3 guys to what Brad is saying. I don't know who's going to get the rebound, but it ain't going to be
That ain't gonna be you.
And Tristan wasn't even.
And he was still getting them.
And see, the problem here is to JB's point. JB has nobody to go to counteract it, right?
So the Cavs are in a
Because you need another
situation-
big body.
The Donovan Mitchell trade made obviously a ton of sense. It still does.
It
to
does.
Me. But in the end, it feels like the Cavs are stuck in this
It cleared
spot.
out the cupboards of the assets.
And what are you going to do? Like, even if you traded Jarrett Allen, what are you getting for him?
You're not trading Jarrett Allen. We better not be trading Jarrett. You need some pieces, but the pieces you need to find, they're not coming to you in trade because you have no trade value. Your pieces, until you get some more capital, maybe some years, right, are going to be a couple things. The free agent exception, the
Mid-level exception, which they have whether or not they re-sign LeVert.
Mid-level
mid-level exception.
And then off the scrap heap. Carmelo Anthony scrap heap. Tristan Thompson scrap heap. And I said they're not long-term solutions, but that's what you have available to you today. Otherwise, you go into a playoff series with just what you have, and now every gaping hole you have in the playoff game is now exposed.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like the Cavs have done, obviously with Darius Garland and Mobley, They've done good with their high picks there.
Yeah.
Right? They did with Kyrie. They did with LeBron going further. It feels like other teams kind of hit on an occasional second-round pick or even a free agent guy. And like the Cavs, outside of Delhi.
Well, I disagree. I
Okay.
actually think that they've done a nice job. I know he's not playing now because he can't shoot, and I'm going to say it again: shooting in the playoffs. Lamar Stevens is the guy that they found and developed and turned him into a useful piece. Dean Wade
But he's
can't
not,
get on
if
the
he
floor.
can't play, he's not useful.
Yes, I know, but you still have to get through 82
Yeah.
games of regular season. You still have to identify these guys. They have done a better job more recently of doing that than they ever did in the past because Delhi was the only one for a number of years
Right,
that
right.
you could say that they identified. I will argue to the death, it's no longer you have to have a top 5 pick to find talent in the NBA. You can find talent. The NBA is more of a worldwide game than ever before.
Right.
It's a global game, and there's only 2 rounds. You can find guys, and you can develop them, and you can turn them into useful pieces. And so I do think that they've done a little bit better job of that. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
But you can find guys, and I think that they've done a decent job. I know they're not helping them in this series.
Right.
And I'll go back to one other thing, and I love G. We know how emotional he gets and overreactionary he gets and stuff like this. But I did have a personnel guy, as I was driving in, I was talking to a personnel guy on another team who said, why don't they bring Jarrett off the bench and space the floor? Just clear it out.
Really?
He said, there's too many big bodies right now, and there's no driving lanes. And I said, they can't find 5 guys to start. Where are you going to find 6? If they go back to the 2016 they won championship, they had shooters all over the place. Spread the floor and create driving lanes for 2 dribble penetration guys in LeBron and Kyrie. You have that now with Darius and Donovan, 2 dribble penetration guys, open the floor. The problem is they don't have anybody else in order to do that. They don't have any other. They don't have a Channing Frye. They don't have a Kyle Korver. They don't have these guys Kevin Love, who can stand and shoot. All you need to do is set your feet. Channing Frye was deadly. If his feet are set and you get him the ball in open space, he's going to hit it every time.
So a personnel guy tells you, take Jarrett out the game so we can space the floor. Space the floor for who?
To create offense. They're not even scoring.
They all they're going to do is double your 2 top dudes. That's all they've been doing the last 2 games.
So who would start?
So who going to get the shots?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
In theory, it works.
So I'm just saying, your personnel
If
guy.
they had another guy.
I'm just saying.
But he's talking in theory that makes no sense because we're where we are, right? We are what we are.
They won a championship playing that way in 2016.
Yeah, but those dudes are gone.
I know that, but the philosophy still stands of put shooters around the floor.
They don't have it, so
they just screwed. But that's why I keep saying shooting.
So can they get these guys this offseason?
You have to go find shooters.
Let's flip this around because I live in the real world. The real world is Wednesday is coming. What are we doing on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Because we have to just win 1. I can't look at the 3. Can I win 1?
All right, 1 at a time.
Jason, you think we can win 1?
At home, yeah.
All right, so how do you win 1?
Donovan and Darius.
And
it's time to earn the contract.
So let me ask you this. Do you go back to – see, because I felt like this. I felt like putting LeVert in the lineup screwed him up, right? Because he had settled into a role off the bench. He knew when he was coming in. And sometimes he was playing against second-tier dudes. And he was getting
So you want to put a Coro back in the starting lineup?
I say go back to that, right?
Okay.
And say, okay, not that you playing a Coro many minutes, but you put everybody in a space where they were comfortable. Because it looked like when they got to New York, they were very uncomfortable with what they were doing, right? And so, but I don't know if now that you made the commitment, you can uncommit it now.
I mean, if you've started Okoro, now you have 3 defenders in the lane.
Right. But I listen to me on this, right? It's about getting the others comfortable. Your 2 top people are uncomfortable, right? They're uncomfortable right now, right?
They can't win even Game 5 unless those 2 guys are great.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So here, Isaac at least showed me yesterday that he was like, I didn't care that he was missing shots in the corner. He wasn't scared.
Right.
And at this point, the Knicks are like, you ever been to a thing where somebody said, a bully looks at you and says, oh, you're not going to push me back?
I'm going to keep pushing.
I'm going to just keep pushing.
Yeah, right.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, everybody saw it. I was in Lowe's yesterday after the game.
Yeah.
The guy was like, he said that's what happened to him. Now, if the regular person off the street can see it, right? If you look at the videotape, some things in this business you can't run away from. I'll tell you what Doug Collins would have done for me done for us in Chicago. If we was getting pushed up on the goal, we'd have went into the next day because you're not practicing. You're going to see some film. they'd have looped that film so quick where everybody getting pushed on the go. I don't care who you was, Jordan or whoever, or me, whoever. Run it back, run it back, run it back. Oh, look at you. Look at you. That's how you let them do you? That's how you let them do you? You going to do anything about it? And that's how they would put you on Front Street to be like.
So, to that point, you're saying it's all about pride, right?
This is where we are.
If they get their ass kicked at home in Game 5, where's the pride? Where's the heart? Where's the toughness?
Here, this how sick it is. Jason, did you see the video? The Knicks won on Friday night, right? Mm-hmm. The euphoria amongst the Knicks faithful out in the subway. I was like, you act like you want to chill.
It was weird.
I was like, what
They're
is
going
this?
bananas at the Garden.
I mean, they've had. It's like the Browns. They've had nothing.
So that tells you.
They've had
That tells
nothing.
you this. They don't believe it themselves.
Yeah, they're shocked. The people of New York, like they hate the Knicks ownership. They hate the organization. They love the team, but
Right.
they kind of hate the team.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the Browns. It's the same thing
Yeah,
here.
yeah, right.
They've had no success for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
They hate the owners. They win one playoff game and they lose their minds. It's the same thing as
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Jason was crazy. I was like, really? This what you doing? Then
Yeah.
Stephen A. was going crazy on the.
Is
on the-
Isaiah Hartenstein the Baker Mayfield of the Knicks? Hartenstein, get it together. I don't know. Let's talk about some other NBA playoff games.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
I have to tell you what the internet poll has told us, and Anthony's being a slacker, and he's upstairs, so I have to change the monitors by myself. So give me a sec to get on PCC
slacker.
Airfoils. Because if you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is the leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions started at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. We put a poll up in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Who is most to blame for the Game 4 loss? And with close to 300 votes, Mitchell came in with 50%.
Only 50?
That'd be my vote.
The Cavs front
should be
court had
100%.
27. Bickerstaff 20. Darius Garland 2%. So Mitchell
I'd
takes
put
the cake
more
in
on
that
Darius. I'd
What-
have him
who
more
was
than
second at
2%.
27%?
poll. The Cavs front court. The
Is
combination
it
of
what? How
Mobley
much
and
for
Allen.
Darius?
Darius had 2%.
Oh,
I'd pump that up a little
I
bit.
mean-
But if I had to pick one, it would be Donovan.
But it has to be. I don't know how you can vote for anybody but Donovan Mitchell.
We do have
And
two
Garland
super
would be
chats I
second.
want to read, too, based on the Cavs, both
Yeah.
from Brody's bottom line. He says Jarrett Allen had 4 rebounds. 4. And then he asked us, please stop playing Rubio, please.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you there. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Well,
Rubio shot.
sometimes coaches get, they're loyal to their people, right?
You said how do you play Wednesday? He's not going to do this. He's loyal to Isaac.
Yeah.
I play 7 guys. I start Danny Green, bring Jetty, and Karras off the bench,
Right.
and that's it. That's how they cooked him in Game 2, playing 7 guys. I go back to those 7, and that's it.
Well, you should do that.
And that's all you play
but-
until you're eliminated, which
Yeah.
will probably be Friday.